Hello everyone, this is Romilly Hodges. I am a functional nutritionist and nutrition programs director at Dr. Cara Fitzgerald's Clinic for Functional Medicine. This month is Celiac Awareness Month, and so I wanted to jump on and tell you a little bit about gluten-free diets, how to go gluten-free in the healthiest way possible, because I do see hundreds of variations on gluten-free diets and they are not all the healthiest, unfortunately. This is really, really important for several reasons. One of them is the issue of refined carbohydrates and sugar. And in fact, there was a study that was published recently in March just this year that showed that those on a gluten-free diet were at increased risk for diabetes. Pretty shocking, isn't it? Gluten-free, that's supposed to be healthy. Well, one of the things that I see happening with gluten-free diets is that people turn to that whole aisle in the supermarket now of gluten-free alternative foods. So gluten-free breads, gluten-free pastries, gluten-free desserts, gluten-free cookies and crackers, and these are typically loaded with very refined carbohydrates like rice flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, and everything else. And they also have lots of sugar in them because sugar is gluten-free, right? So except that it's not a healthy gluten-free food. So I would encourage you to look beyond the packaged gluten-free aisle and focus on whole foods that are naturally gluten-free. So vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, most oils, meats, fish, beans and lentils, and grains can be fine too, unless you need to avoid grains for other reasons. But choose whole grain forms such as brown rice and quinoa, millet, rather than their refined counterparts, or grains that, also grains that be milled into flour, so avoid those as well. Another reason that we need to think about the type of gluten-free food that you might be eating is we need to pay attention to immune function and inflammation, and also the microbiome. So yes, celiac disease has a genetic aspect to it, but not everyone with the gene gets celiac disease. So what turns celiac disease on, and what creates that immune dysfunction? Well, one of the pieces of the puzzle is inflammation, and especially inflammation in the gut. And just because we've cut out gluten, it doesn't mean that we've adjusted for what caused the immune dysfunction in the first place. So we need to think about foods that help re-regulate the immune system. First of all, plenty of non-starchy and antioxidant-rich vegetables, especially greens, and sulfur vegetables like broccoli and cabbage and onions. You can use herbs and spices too, which are hugely potent anti-inflammatories. Mushrooms, especially wild mushrooms like shiitake, they have really important beta-glucans in them, and they're excellent immune regulators. And we also need to think about the microbiome, which plays a huge role in modulating immune function. And there was another study published showing that individuals with celiac disease have lower levels of a type of beneficial gut bacteria called bifidobacteria, even when they're on a gluten-free diet. And bifidobacteria are also really important for bringing down inflammation in the gut. So we want to bring in foods that nourish healthy gut bacteria. Lots of vegetables, again, avoid sugary processed foods, consume fermented foods, and also something called prebiotic foods. Now, prebiotics are foods that our healthy gut bacteria consume, so they're essentially fed by those foods. So foods like onion again, garlic, leeks, asparagus, jicama, they're all really high in prebiotic content. So if you have celiac disease, or also if you have non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which many, many individuals do, I hope you found this useful, and I hope that you feel ready to go off and eat your way healthy on a gluten-free diet.